American LCS.
Still putting praise towards that mid.
What is going on, guys? It is your boy Visions here, bringing you guys Game 3 of today on LCS. It is going to be TSM versus Echo Fox. We have already jumped into picks and bans, however, and just to touch a bit on this matchup, obviously TSM did end up falling short yesterday to, I believe it was Optic, so they ended up losing. It was really unfortunate. They just got really outplayed, just didn't play well, but they did end up losing. That might not be, I'm not sure if it was Optic or not, so don't quote me on that. However, Echo Fox has been looking very sloppy as well lately. Obviously, they were one of our teams showing at Rift Rivals that did not find too much success. EU showing that Huni was a player that could really be picked on, and I did not mute the volume. I apologize. But anyway, showing that yeah, EU was definitely a team that showed that Huni is someone that you can pick on and someone that you can really take advantage of in the top lane. He's always overextending. I believe there was a statistic as coming into today. It might not be valid anymore, but coming into today, Huni actually had the most deaths out of any LCS player currently. So you know, obviously this is showing that this is a problem. You know, Huni's someone that plays very aggressive, has a very one-minded play style. Someone that can really punish, you know, other top laners, and you know, is shown for his mechanics and you know, his outplays and whatnot. But you know, a lot of someone like Darshan, or sorry, yeah, Darshan yesterday said that Huni's someone that, you know, he actually has a really good track record versus. He doesn't have a problem playing against Huni. You know, he plays very over aggressive, and you know, and he's just someone who is just very easily to punish, especially if you're playing around your jungle synergy. Now, to talk about some of the picks that are coming through, so we are going to see Xayah Rakan actually come out for TSM, so potentially a funnel in the mid lane, as I actually have seen Bjergsen and Greg play this, or sorry, Bjergsen and Mithy actually play this in the mid lane and funnel this and solo queue quite a bit. But on the side of Echo Fox, we are going to see Huni actually. He's going to come out with sorry, Huni's going to pick the Graves, but the Graves is most likely going to come through for the Dardoch, of course, who's someone who actually has only been the consistent member on the team. And I think this is probably really frustrating for Dardoch, and I wonder if it influences his mindset as well, because Dardoch's someone who has always had a very good performance, even when he was on Team Liquid, and he was like a 1v9 player and carried Team Liquid for a lot of their wins. You know, it's gotta, I wonder if it definitely used to affect his mindset in the past, where he felt like his teammates weren't as good as him. And when you start to feel like your teammates aren't as good as you start to get those bad thoughts of, you know, looking for other options and knowing, maybe losing confidence in whether or not you guys can win. Now, I think the players that are surrounded by Dardoch are, you know, really good players. You know, I think that Huni's someone who's, you know, went to the World Championship last year. Unfortunately, didn't win, and that was the first time SKT did not find success. But you know, there's a lot of success that is available, you know, to be gotten within this team, or you know, that can be achieved within this team. So I do think that it is very unfortunate for the fact that they do not have the success they're looking for at the moment, but there's a lot of things that can change, and if there is a team that they can't beat, I think TSM is definitely very beatable right now. I think they look very inconsistent. I think they are there's a lot of things that they need to fix, and I mean, going forward, we're going to see how that ends up going, but this is going to be the big game between both of these players, because whoever wins this is actually tied for first place. Now, as we get into the other side of ban phase here, since I will stop talking and actually maybe talk about the picks and bans, we are going to see a lot of bans coming up for the Heimer. You know, the Ashe, making sure that Sven does not get that pick again, and then not getting poked out by Fiddle, and also making sure that Haunter gets a good matchup in the top lane, and banning away the Darius. So we are going to see should be a support and should be a top laner that is still available. They're actually going to give Huni the top lane counter pick, and I think this is something that is really good, since Huni has been, you know, probably taking a lot of flack, especially from Reddit, you know, maybe even from his teammates and his coaching staff. You know, he hasn't been performing well. He most likely knows he hasn't been performing well, so it's get him on something that he can win the matchup with. I mean, even though Mundo was already picked ahead of time, they want to make sure, I guess, they get him something that is good. We are going to see Trundle come through, as well as Swain, so it should be a Swain as well as sorry, I'm having a brain fart. Swain in the mid lane, I believe. And then we're going to have the bot lane. So no, there's no, like, the funnel should be coming through here. Bjergsen will be playing just the Swain, and we're going to have Xayah Rakan. I was thinking that maybe they were going to do the bot lane. They were going to have Bjergsen on top, or on the Xayah, and then have Greg or Mithy on the Rakan, and then look to do that. But it looks like they are not going to do that this time around. It will just be a standard composition coming through from both teams, so no funneling. And it looks like Fox has actually finally given up on the funneling, which is good, because I think for the most part, Fox did try to do a lot of funnels, and it wasn't really working consistently for them. So they decided now they're going to play a bit more standard. And this is going to be an interesting mid matchup. I don't think that I think Demonte is a very good mid laner right now. He's very new to the LCS. He did just get his ban over with a few days ago, or a week ago, or something like that. So him coming back in strong, I think, is very important for Fox, considering this player is very talented. He's very mechanically talented as well. Has a lot of potential, and going up against someone that is one of NA's best, I think that it shows that it's going to show whether or not he can actually hang with the best. And I think Demonte is someone that can. So I think we're going to have our eyes on him. And once we hit that 6, someone like Dardak that loves to punish the enemy jungler, loves to invade, get into the jungler's head, that's going to be something that Demonte can help out with his ultimate constantly coming in. So we're going to be hopping into this one. I think both drafts are very good. I think there's a few different win conditions. I think that Greg and Dardak spend a lot of time played against each other in solo queue quite a bit as well. Greg obviously being the rank 1 for a while there, a few months ago, about a month ago I think it was, and Dardak when he was spamming solo queue. They ended up playing a lot against each other, so this matchup should be very interesting. This matchup early, I believe, is actually fairly even, as long as Greg lands a good pillar if they end up getting into an encounter. Graves does have a slight advantage because of the range, but if you have a good pillar when he has his E down, then you can definitely get your press the attack off stacks, and it's really good. So ultimately, I think this game is going to determine a lot about this bot lane. I think the X factor for this team is Ven and Mithy. I think that Ven and Mithy are two players that came over from EU, have a lot to prove, but haven't been able to find the success that the TSM organization has wanted them to find. And it's definitely got to be a huge amount of pressure for them too, to always perform, to always be on top. This TSM roster is expected to win and to basically be the number 1 team, like by far. This is what their expectations were. You drop one of the best bot lanes, you drop the best ADC in North America to pick up this bot lane, and then for them to not find success is just really unfortunate. But early ward going to be taken out by Dardoch, starting with that red trinket, and actually 2 wards taken out by Dardoch. And really well played by him, starting sweeper first, and that's something that obviously you can do that. You don't have to wait for that level 9. It does give him a late start on his red buff, however. He does not need a leash as it is Graves. You can kite this thing out no problem whatsoever. And yeah, so we're gonna see just a standard start. Trundle will be going towards the top side after that, so it looks like he will be looking for top scuttle, and Dardoch might path for this scuttle or might go down to the bot scuttle. We'll have to see. Now, just a bit of so it looks like Dardoch is actually going to do his raptors into this scuttle crab, and if they do this scuttle crab here, then this might be a bit of a 1v1 here off the start of the game. Mid pressure is in Demonte's favor, so they definitely could go for this, and looks like they will. And that means that if they do get the scuttle crab, that is really unfortunate for Greg. Greg will not get a scuttle crab, but he will hit level 3 off his wolf camp, and Dardoch will still be level 2 for the time being. Actually, will hit level 3 there. Now looking to invade onto Greg. Greg is level 3 as well, however. So they are going to be looking to invade him, and this is what we talked about. We talked about Dardoch being that nuisance, looking to try and pick up. Oh, he's going to take it away. So yeah, being able to come in here with your pressure, you have the mid lane pressure, you have the top lane pressure. Knowing that he can do this is really well played by him. Making sure that they can take away as much as possible. Demonte trying to look to find some damage onto Bjergsen, not going to find anything, and should just be a clear, and maybe Demonte is going to look for a back. And this is the bot lane. Nice dodge by Mithy there to make sure he doesn't get hit by the Q. But this is the bot lane we know we have our eyes on. I think that there's just so much pressure on Sven and Mithy to perform, and that they really need to. And I really would love to see how Greg can actually affect these early lanes, and seeing if he can actually do anything. Greg is someone who's still new to the LCS. I think that so far his his performance in the LCS has been pretty mediocre for the most part. I think he's been pretty average. I don't think he's been by any means terrible, and I don't think he's been by any means really good. I think he's just at that point where he's just holding his own. He's getting used to playing on stage, especially under the TSM brand. I mean, that's got to be something that you have to always have in your mind, that this is a organization in LCS that is expected to perform, to be on top, to be number one, and that's got to be a lot of pressure, especially for someone that's new. And we're gonna see Dardoch doing a full clear. I don't think he'll hit level 5 off that camp, but we're gonna see Engage come through from Mithy onto Altec now. A lot of damage coming through actually, and that is gonna be the flash out from Altec, and that was just simply from the Zyra Rakan. I mean, both of these lanes are extremely strong. I mean, Lucian Braum extremely strong, Zyra Rakan extremely strong, but Zyra Rakan definitely have the edge, especially when the minion wave is shoved in, and that was really well played by them. And now we are just going to see Huni actually going to go for a back here on the GP. And just looking to pressure Haunter, as he will be TPing back to the top lane. And another engage actually. Mithy getting really aggressive here. Just making sure he gets some stacks off. Making sure he does as much damage as possible. Forcing Altec to actually back here. And Altec is going to miss a wave. He does not have TP to get back here as Ven did. And we're just going to see pretty standard game so far. Not a whole lot happening. Ultimately, from both of these teams, we're going to want to see Dardoch's going to farm up. He's going to try and do as much as he possibly can to get ahead. Hit that level 6. Hit that level 6. Look for the spike. And then once he hits level 6, you can look for a lot of dives, as they're looking to do to Haunter right now. They have the wave shoved in. They're looking to pressure Haunter a bit here. The wave is about to crash, however, though. And I don't know if they can actually do anything here. They are going to look for a TP is going to come through. I believe this is Bjergsen. Bjergsen's coming up here. Huni going extremely low, but they are going to find the kill. Dardoch's going to pick up one. Bjergsen now looking on to another. It's going to be the flash away from Dardoch, knowing that if he did get hit by that, he would have went down. So really well played by them. We're going to see Demonte actually walk out of here. But ultimately, really well played by them to make sure that they find a kill on the Haunter. They look to pressure. They go to the Huni lane, and that's what they need to do. When they were finding a lot of success, it was because they were playing around Huni. Huni, someone that plays aggressive, is always up in the face, and really well played by them. Actually got the level up, was the only reason that he actually lived there. And then the flash coming through for Dardoch. So really well played by them to play that on the top side of the map. Ven coming through here, going to hit his level 5 spike, and now we're going to see the Fox bot lane actually move towards the Scuttle Crab, looking to secure that, and Greg is going to get spotted out again here, which is super unfortunate. They know that he's going to be doing his red buff. Dardoch has tabs on him. Dardoch also looking to invade potentially here. He does have the level advantage, and they do have it warded out here. Dardoch knows that he is good for now, but he is going to walk on a ward, and Greg should get pressured off this. Bot lane is going to come and help him. He's going to look to try and take this away. Going to be taken away. Really well played by Dardoch, and this is just what we talk about here. Now, we talk about how Dardoch's someone that really knows how to punish, when to punish the enemy jungler. Knows that, hey, his red buff is coming up in, X amount of seconds. They look to plan this, a minute ahead or something along those lines. And it's gotta, you have to think that Dardoch's a player that will always look to punish you, and when he has those advantages in his lanes, and he's gonna make sure that he takes them. And Greg now is still level 5. Actually did do his golem, and still only hit level 5. Don't think they're gonna find anything on the Bjergsen, but they do force the ultimate out of him. And now Dardoch is going to go towards his top side, actually looking to take away the blue buff here. And this is actually huge, because Demonte is looking to shove this in. Greg now in a situation where he is looking to come to his top side here. If he can actually take away this blue buff, this is absolutely huge, because Greg is still only level 5. And Greg is just getting extremely punished right now. And we talk about how there's not much that he is able to do. Even Huni coming over, and Greg is just getting forced out of his jungle. This is just so bad for him, man. He is now level 5, and looks like they're going to try and take away. Greg has to try and smite this away. I'm going to be a miss-smite, but now 2 levels up on Greg. Greg is just getting absolutely punished so hard right here, and this is just very frustrating for him. He's yet to hit level 6. He is just getting tracked so hard by Dardoch. Dardoch is just in his face, showing him that he is not able to do anything. And now this is just a situation where this just comes down to the better jungler. You know what I mean? And, you know, as a jungle main myself, I love when I get to see this. And you can see this. He is now trying to take away the third camp. Bjergsen is coming, though. He's like, I cannot let you do this. Bjergsen is here. But now Dardoch might find himself in a bit of a tough situation, as we do also have Hansard here looking to clean this up. Is not going to blow the flash just yet. Is now. And just like that, maybe Dardoch got a bit too aggressive there, as he did try to force the third camp. I mean, like, Dardoch's whole jungle is up, however. So, I mean, he definitely could have went back, farmed, and, you know, could have got the bigger level advantage. You know, he's going to obviously hit 6 eventually, but I do think that was a bit greedy to try and go forward for that. Anyway, they do end up finding a kill onto Dardoch, and at least one gets traded back over. But Dardoch's going to do is probably a full clear here, and then he might be, he should probably be close to level 9. If not, he'll hit level 9 if he does do a full clear. Eyes back on the bot lane right now, as we can see both ADCs, a bit of a slight advantage for Sven in the CS category right now. Mithy just walking up, just trying to dodge these skill shots over here, showing him I ain't scared of you. And we're getting a replay on this. So Dardoch was actually on a ward, and we can see this. Greg, I guess, just needed the little rat or the little wolf just to actually hit that at level 6, and then this is when he ults him, flashes on him right away. Hansard's here to make sure that they secure it. But Hansard also comes through just to make sure they got it. I don't think there was any need for Hansard to secure that. I guess Hansard wanted those double buffs really bad going into that Huni lane, so he could just kind of spam. Maybe that's what he wanted, but ultimately they do get the kill. 2 flashes were blown, but, you know, Greg's still under a lot of pressure in this game. And still the item advantage for Dardoch, as maybe hits level 9 here. Not quite, as he's actually only about halfway, it looks like. And this is gonna be the dragon started up, as they don't actually have the bot pressure, and Altec can't come right away. Looks like TSM might maybe sniff this out, or maybe they're just gonna give it away, as Mithy's just clearing out a bit of vision, and it looks like this should be no problem secured over in the side of Fox. A little bit more movement speed. Dardoch wants that movement speed so that he can invade a little bit more, maybe not get caught out as much and try and get himself out of those tight situations. And then we're going to see the calling coming through from Altec. Not much damage coming out whatsoever there. Just trying to put a bit of pressure onto the bot lane. But ultimately, not too much coming out there. And now Dardoch looking for another objective, as he actually has his eyes on to the Rift Herald. Demonte has the wave shoved. Looks like he might try and go clear some vision. Ice engage coming through from Mithy. Only going to find Fang, though. Fang going to walk back out. Going to use the shield to make sure he does not take much damage. But now we are actually going to see the mid lane as well as the jungler knowing that they're actually on to the Rift Trails right here. This is going to be a 3v3 skirmish. Now there's going to be some damage going on to Demonte. Demonte going extremely low right here. Trying to see if they can find anything. This is going to be a flash out, but this is going to be the Rift Trail is going to be secured right there. And now this is going to be a really good play from Dardoch coming in there. You know, making sure that he does get that. The flash was blown by Demonte, but Demonte should be fine giving up his flash if they end up getting a couple turrets from it. Nice dash coming up from Altec, not getting hit by the Grand Entrance. And this is just going to be a nice little E coming through from Bjergsen, sniffing him out, putting him down to half health, trying to chunk out Dardoch best he could, trying to get some revenge for his jungler there, as he's been punished extremely hard this game. Now going forward here, we are going to see some damage coming through. Lots of little fights, little trades coming through in these lanes, but not a whole lot happening. I mean, we are going to see a bit of a goal lead in the side of Fox's favor, just being able to have that CS advantage. One for the jungle, that's the big thing, and a bit of a CS advantage also in the top lane. And also, of course, it was the first blood that was secured by Fox, but this is just becoming, you know, a bit of a situation where TSM is fine if they can just stay in the situation. You know, they're not giving up a whole lot. Grig's in a tough spot where he's a bit behind, but he's still very effective with his ultimate, and you know, obviously has the pillar there that he can make a lot of plays. And there's quite a few champions on the side of Fox that he can punish really hard. You know, being Demonte, being able to interrupt the dash. Huni, someone who can't really escape besides using his oranges to try and get away, but Dardoch coming through mid here, just trying to see if he can do anything. Gonna clear some vision out in the river. Huni and Hansard just going at it, trading back and forth, clearing waves, scaling. Both of them waiting to get their level 16 spike. And Hooney actually on something that he was very comfortable in the spring split. This is something he played a whole bunch in the spring split and was very successful on it. So I guess Hooney may be going back to his roots and just trying to find, that part where he was really good, and that's, you know what I mean, finding that comfort. And this is going to be the Rift Herald being dropped in the mid lane right now, looking like they're going to try and secure this. Hooney's going to get chunked out a little bit, but he should be fine. This should be the turret going down. So this was Damonte giving up his flash for the Rift Herald, getting lots of pressure on it, and we'll get another charge off, and that is going to be taken down to just about half health right there. Lots of damage coming through. And now to talk about the future objectives, we do have Dragon, an Infernal Dragon that will be the next Dragon spawning. I believe the next 2 or 3 minutes or so it should be coming up. And just going to be still laning phase for now. I mean, neither team looking to make any big rotations as of just yet. Infernal definitely might be the big one that we get a big fight over. But ultimately, right now, we're just going to see a bit of trading. Not a whole lot going on. A lot of scaling. Damonte and Bjergsen trading back and forth. Not much damage going over to Damonte, however, even though Bjergsen landed like his full combo there. And Greg finally catching up in a bit of items here, as Dardoch I don't think is actually backed, however. But we are going to see a back coming from him fairly soon. Probably looking for a reset, definitely before the Dragon starts. And now we're maybe seeing a dive potentially set up here as Greg and Bjergsen are making their way towards the bot side. And GP Ultimate is available if they do decide to go for it. Hooney might be looking for a GP Ultimate onto Haunter, though. Haunter has the Ultimate. He's going to walk himself out of that. Mundo is just too tanky, and this is the Fox bot lane, knowing that they could have rotated down, so they are going to give that up. First turret will be secured by TSM's bot lane right there. That is a bit of gold going back over in their favor, trying to close the gold lead a bit more. And now Hooney may be trying to fight back for a turret in the top lane as Haunter's getting a bit bullied out here. He's not sure where the jungler as well as the mid laner could be, so he does actually have to sacrifice this as he could have gotten dove again. But really good play coming out of them, making sure that they do secure that turret. And now actually Dardoch here as well, just looking like he's going to try and punish Greg a bit more. But a lot of people are moving up in the top lane right here. This could be very bad for Fox as they look like they could be too aggressive. Mithy's going to find the grand entrance and the quickness onto 2 members right now. No one going down just yet. Dardoch trying to find one traded over. He's going to miss the ultimate though. This should be Dardoch going down as he does not have his flash up, and that is really well played by them. Mithy looking for a sick engage right there, knowing that that turret went down and knowing that they should have backed. They should have had an idea that TSM's bot lane was coming up here, but let's just keep our eyes on Mithy here. They try to go on to Haunter, who's extremely tanky. Mithy sees the opportunity, flashes in, really well played by them, finds the grand entrance onto Dardoch, and then finds the quickness onto 2 members. So really well played by them. Hooney will make it out, but again, just really good play by Mithy. Mithy's also been kind of the question mark for this team as well, who's actually struggled maybe a bit, maybe has a different idea on the shot calling. When you listen to a lot of the comms from TSM, you kind of get the vibe that they question it. Sometimes they're not always on the same page. So it's nice to see that they did find a good engage. Mithy getting up to that top lane and just showing himself and making sure that he is making himself aware on the map. It's showing that he can play that Rakan, even though he did get flamed for it there. I believe it was last week against TL. Now we are going to see the Infernal Drag is up. Still gold lead in favor of Fox. Not sure how much gold they have actually on their inventory or not, but this is going to be a fight potentially that might break out here, as the Dragon is going to be taking down about 2k. Greg is going to be looking for the smite here. Going to see if he can get it. It's going to be secured by Greg, however, though. Dardoch not going to find anything just yet. Greg is in the pit. He's going to have to flash out. Now maybe looking for a re-engage. TSM wants to back out. They got the objective. They got what they were looking for. Really well played by them to come in here and making sure they get it. And Fox starting up the Infernal, but Greg taking it. And this is one thing that Greg has been very good at, is he has been very good at taking away objectives that come down to smites. He smites a lot of big Baron objectives. He's had some amazing steals. The one versus Clutch on the Nocturne that almost got them back into the game. Just being able to secure a lot of these dragons, and especially a big one like Infernal. Dardoch's someone that has been known to tilt, and this is maybe a bit frustrating. Just combining the auto bite into the smite, and Greg is going to flash out, and he's going to be just fine. And that is going to be an Infernal in TSM's favor. We do have a bit of a slower game compared to the games earlier today. Just looks like a little bit more thought out, making a little bit more calculated risk, and maybe not taking a whole lot of risk right now, We do have the Baron spawning in about a minute 30. That's obviously the big objective. That's what everyone has their eyes on going forward. And that's going to be the one that both teams are going to be fighting over. However, the first smite already going in favor of Greg, seeing if maybe if another smite fight does come down in the near future, if he will be able to secure that. And it's just going to be a lot of setting up vision, clearing vision right now, setting up for that objective. Looking for that top lane matchup there, we are going to see a lot of gold going over to Huni. He actually has quite a big CS lead here, and he's putting out a lot of damage right now. Actually already has a Mortal Reminder completed, which is actually huge. I mean, that is a lot of damage or that is a lot of healing that will be neglected from the Mundo going forward, especially since that ultimate just heals you up so much. So really well played by Ahuni, making sure he gets that item fairly early. I don't know if he had to complete the entire item. Maybe he could have just went calling and then bit into Hysteric's Gauge. Now we are going to see Grig up here in the top lane with his dual lane, as we can see Huni going very aggressive onto Hanser, and this is the matchup that we did not see go in the favor of in our last game there. We did not see that go in favor of the GP. We actually did see Someday pressured the GP very, very hard, and it was very difficult for Lorlo to actually do anything in that matchup. And now we can see lots of damage coming down onto this turret here, but now we're going to see a bit of an engage here. Ultimate is going to be used by Altec. Calling not going to find too many shots though, only going to poke him out a little bit. Mithy is more than fine. And now the big purple worm is on the map, ladies and gentlemen, as we are going to see lots of pressure coming around that objective. That is going to be what everyone has their eyes on. We've seen a sneak today, and we've seen a lot of pressure. This game is a lot closer. Fox does have, about a bit of a 4K gold lead, but I mean, this game is a bit closer compared to what we've seen. I think the gold lead actually comes down to a huge part of it is really that jungle matchup. We look at that jungle matchup. I mean, the turret's also, of course, playing a big effect, but we can see the CS lead between Dardoch and Greg right now is roughly about, 55, or even maybe a bit more, actually. So, yeah, I guess closer to like 62. And that's just got to make you think, 2 levels on Greg right now. Dardoch is extremely ahead. He is 2 items completed right now. He is just ready to do a bunch of damage if a fight breaks out. And, this is with the spikes that they want to play around right now. Monte also extremely tanky with a lot of AP ratio. Glacial Fissure actually coming out onto Mithy there. Mithy is going to dash away with the Grand Entrance, so not going to find anything. A big cooldown down by Fang right there. They're just throwing that out there, trying to see if they can find anything. Greg now in a tough spot as they are going to look to go on him. DeMonte might look for the taunt here. Taunt might come through. Not going to find anything just yet. Bjergsen's going to pop the ultimate. Grand Entrance is going to find a few. Now DeMonte now in a tough spot as he's a little bit low here, a little bit caught out. He might have to flash away. Huni's here to look for the barrel. Flash is going to come through by Bjergsen and try and follow though. Bjergsen now in a tough spot. He's going to use the stopwatch. Hanser here to join. DeMonte's going to go down. Lots of damage coming through as we're going to see another trade going out 1-for-1. Grand Entrance is only going to find 1 more damage coming down. We're going to see if there's anything that Hanser can do. Hanser now just going to back out. That is just going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Both mid laners going down as they look to pressure this mid lane turret, and they don't actually have too much wave clear left. That is going to be the turret going down. Well played by Fox to get in there, win the fight ultimately, because they did get the turret and they did get them a lot lower. So really well played by Fox. Ultimately it was just a 1-for-1, but now that is 4-to-1 turrets, and we can see the gold lead is now roughly about 5k in the favor of Echo Fox, and we can just see them that they are scaling, they're getting stronger, and they are just going to look to reset and spend this gold. And we can see that the big ultimate, actually, if Fang actually still had his ultimate, maybe this fight could have went even better for them. But Greg walks up, no need to be here without any of your teammates, and they do go on him. Taunt did not actually land, and then we're going to see the Grand Entrance come through. Really well played by them, and Mithy's going to find multiple targets. Sven in a very weird position to actually put out any damage there, and you can see that the bot lane is now no longer actually there to do any damage, and this is where Fox just is grouped. They clean up. The Grand Entrance does come back through, but Sven was in an awful position that fight. Wasn't able to put out any damage, was over the wall trying to put out damage, and I just don't really agree with the positioning on that. If he was there in the tight quarters with his ultimate, could have used the feathers and got multiple targets stunned, but it did not work. And now we are going to see lots of pressure coming in from mid lane as the next dragon is about to spawn in about 10 seconds. Maybe Echo Fox having their eyes on that, looking to pick up their second air dragon. I think TSM would be okay with giving this dragon up, as it isn't the big one. It isn't the big infernal drag that you're usually worried about. Dardoch will look to solo that as his lanes have a whole bunch of pressure. They look to pressure in mid wave. They look to also pressure as Hooney's in that bot wave. Damonte in a 1v3 here. That turret will go down. So he is just going to walk away. Dardoch going to secure the dragon and then look to take away more camps from Grig. Trying to punish every way possible. And that's what you want to do if you're the jungler. You want to make sure that you are trying to punish the enemy jungler as much as you possibly can. And despite the fact that Grig has had a really rough one, and as he is actually in a tough spot here, you're gonna get flashed away from the Glacial Fisher, not gonna find anything, and Ultimate also being used by Hooney there. But no, just to kind of touch on that, we did talk about how he did get shut down, and he has a huge deficit right now, especially on gold, as Dardoch punished him very early and ran away with the lead. He has to make you think. Like, he's still in the game. He's still very effective, and the items that he's building, are going to be huge for making sure that he stays alive, becoming very tanky, being that front line, and being able to deal with a lot of this damage that comes through, eating it up for his teammates, and making sure that Sven and Bjergsen, these highlight all-star players, can put out the damage they need to. But TSM has had a very tough time closing games out. They've had some rough early games, and they've also had some really bad decision making when it comes to this kind of mid to late game. And now that we are in this mid game, you have to wonder, is TSM going to have what it takes to make the right decision, to be able to come out here and not throw the game away? They have the tools to do it. They have the carries to be able to run away with the game potentially if they need to, but it just comes down to execution. Will they be able to execute? Hauntzer on the bottom side actually has no TP available right now. Might potentially look to start this Baron. There is a lot of members around the Baron right now. I believe there is a blue ward available on the side of Sven if he has to, or it looks like Bjergsen has his available at least. But ultimately, this is looking like they are to look around this objective. Scuttle Crab will be secured by Hauntzer here. And now we have a bit of a skirmish. Maybe we're going to break out in the mid lane. Fang's going to jump away to safety. He should be just fine. Don't think that TSM is going to be knocking down any turrets here. There is just way too much wave clear coming out of this Fox lineup, and there's just not much you can really do. Now, as both teams look to just basically group mid, this is the solo queue special. Just both teams group in mid, pushing in waves, just looking to usually you push the wave in and then you go instead of vision. I don't think there's any way that TSM ever gets this turret. Looking for Damonte, not going to find him though. TSM does have a lot of tools to look for the engage. The big one is obviously the Rakan. Using the quickness in the grand entrance to find multiple targets is something that Mithy has shown that he can do really well. And his flash is coming out very soon, in probably the next 10-20 seconds or so. So being able to find that engage is going to be what's crucial. And we're just going to see Fox push the wave back, and it's just a very, very slow game right now. Neither team wanting to make any mistakes, especially since both teams right now are teams that have high expectations, but have very good players on them, but just aren't having the results maybe they want to. And obviously TSM being the biggest one, considering that they have not been at the top of the leaderboards in quite a while. And now we are going to see Dardoch clear as much vision out as possible. Maybe look to actually clear this vision on this Baron and just threaten it, as no one's actually in position on TSM to really deal with anything here. And they might have to use a blue ward, thinking that they could be on it. We can see that they are clearing vision out together, doing as much as they possibly can. But they do have a ward actually on Baron, so they definitely know that they are not on it. Looking like Fox just did their reset here, and they are going to back away from the turret as this wave is about to crash. Both teams playing extremely cautious this game. We are 30 minutes in. We have only seen 5 games. The last 2 games we have seen, are just about over at this point, if not over, before this point. And now we're going to see Hauntzer in a bit of a situation. Does have the TP available as well as the ultimate. There is multiple targets collapsing on him though. Hooney getting a little bit chunked here, as they are both level 16. And this is going to be more damage going on to Hauntzer. Hauntzer now going to be collapsed on by 4 members. This is going to be the ultimate coming through. Hauntzer trying to get out. Glacial Fisher is going to find one. Bjergsen is going to be here. Grand Entrance is not going to find anything just yet. Quickness also not going to find anything. Lots of damage coming through as Damonte is on the back line. Ben's going to have to flash out. He's going to find one so far. This could be the fight turned right back around for TSM. TSM looking for more here as we're going to see lots of damage coming through. Dardoch trying to do as much as he possibly can, but this is going to be turned maybe back around as Haunter now is in a tough spot. He's going to get taken down next. Both members extremely low right there for Fang as well as for as well as for Huni, and this is going to be a 2-for-2, and this is just going to be a 2-for-1 actually in the favor of Fox, and this is just going to be extremely close right here as these fights look like they can go either way. Extremely close game. Fox does have the 6k gold lead as they are actually getting close to 7k. Lots of turrets going down, and it looks like they might actually start up the Baron right here. TP is going to come through right there for Bjergsen, I believe it was. Bjergsen, or sorry, for Sven. So Sven is actually here on the fight. Bjergsen is actually still down and has no TP available. So now we're going to see a bit of a fight here break out. Sven and Mithy trying to do as much as they possibly can. Another TP coming through. I believe this is Demonte. Demonte trying to join the fight, seeing if he can do anything. He's going to try and zone out the bot lane as much as he possibly can. Greg does have smite available in about 5 seconds. He is trying to wait for the smite to come up. They're going to go on to Grig though. Grig going to go extremely low, zone him away. They're going to try and finish the Baron. Baron's going to be secured by Dardoch. Now Grig going extremely low as he should be taken down next. Actually, he might be able to walk out there with just about 1 HP. This is going to be another kill going down as Mithy gets taken down next. Baron is secured, however, by Fox, as well as they do get another kill. And now they're going to look to reset, and they're going to look to punish TSM, try and take advantage of this Baron buff and seeing what they can do. That was the fight we talked about breaking out right there. And because of that bot lane fight, that is what led to this, as we're going to see the replay of the bot lane fight first, as Haunter was a bit out of position here. And this is where it all starts. We're going to see Haunter gets taken down, does see the grand entrance from coming through from Mithy, which is actually the big thing. It doesn't actually find anyone. 2 flashes coming out from Dardoch and Huni, which is really well played by them, making sure they don't get hit by that. And then Sven ends up flashing back, uses the Feather Storm to find multiple targets, and then this is where it all goes bad as we see one member go down after a time. Bjergsen gets chunked way too low. They're on the back foot. They don't actually have too much they can do. And then Dardoch is just hard carrying right now with the Guardian Angel, knowing how aggressive he can play. And this is triple Air Dragon for on the side of Fox, and they are extremely quick. They are going to be able to rotate very fast, especially with his Baron buff, being able to knock down multiple turrets right now. And 2 level advantage right here for Dardoch, showing what you can do with this Graves and how you can just be such a big advantage and how you can just punish the enemy jungler. And this is just what you'd love to see. Now we're going to see the siege start right here. GP ulti is already going to be laid down as they start to knock down this turret. That's going to be 1 turret going down so far. Haunter is actually on Demonte. Demonte is going to walk out of that one though. This is going to be the GA pop by Dardoch though. This could be the fight that they need. Sven's going to hold the Featherstorm for now. Going to pull it back. Going to find a few routes, but not going to find anything just yet. No kills going down. Fox going extremely low as they look to reset here. And Huni now in a tough spot as he's going to get pulled away. Mithy's going to find the grand entrance. Going to look for more damage, but he's not going to go down just yet. This is going to be the Sterix Gage keeping him alive as 2 kills go back over to Fox now, and this is going to be completely turned around as they look to maybe have their eyes on the Nexus here, as it is a 5v3. That is the bot lane down. That is a huge amount of damage that is not going to be on the side of TSM now. It is now basically all up to Bjergsen and Grig, as there is multiple members down and not 1 turret's going to be taken down so far. Bjergsen trying to do as much as he possibly can. Going to pop the Hourglass now just to see if he can stay alive for a bit longer. Not going to find anything though. That's going to be 2 kills. That's going to be the ace coming through right there for Fox as they look to knock down another turret and now have their eyes on the Nexus as it will go down. And that is just really well played right there by Fox. TSM has an 0-2 week. That is just not what you want to see right there. TSM has just shown struggle after struggle, not being able to find too much success so far in this summer split. That's going to put them as 4-4, and now Fox is tied for first. Huni having a much better performance there, showing that he is a great player. You know, he is not to be he's not to be discouraged, and he's not to be looked upon or looked down upon. So I mean, great play coming out of Huni. And really for Dardoch too, he punished Grig so hard that game. And this is what we talked about. Dardoch is the 1v9 player. He's the jungler that can just run away with the game. And he did just that this game. He showed that he played really well. Grig had a rough start, even despite the rough start, and he did climb back into it the best he could. But ultimately, Fox coming away with the win. Really well played by them. You can see Huni throwing up the peace sign. Very happy. Finally got to get another win under their belt, and they're going to go 1-for-1 on the weekend. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Visions, also known as Austin. If you did like the video, please make sure you do like it. If you have any criticism or anything you'd like to add in the comments, please comment below, and I'll make sure to try. I'm definitely going to read over it, definitely going to try and respond to anything that I can. Yeah, still learning as a caster. As I said in my first video, I am looking for a color caster to join me on doing this as much as possible. Whenever I'm available, I will be casting LCS. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and be tuned for some more games that I have then that will be uploaded. Thanks. Bye.